Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my Forbes colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on again, Brittany. Appreciate it.
The RNC wrapped up in Milwaukee this week, and you are reporting, quote, yet another Trump is converting donor funds into personal income. Talk to us about who.
This time it is Lara Trump. As we know, she is the co-chair of the RNC, which is the number 2 position, having just been voted in there a few months ago. And looking through the latest campaign finance reports, you see that the RNC is paying her what looks like it'll be an annual salary of $163,000. So, certainly something that looks competitive and a fair salary, assuming she's doing the job that she was elected to do. But it's also, just another example of a Trump family member pocketing GOP donor cash.
So what is her specific history of being paid donor funds?
So in this case, this is the first time her name has actually showed up in FEC records as a recipient. Does not mean it's the first time she's received donor funds, though. Back in 2020, HuffPost reported that the Trump campaign was paying her, along with Kim Guilfoyle, salaries, but they were not being paid directly. Instead, they were kind of being paid as like subcontractors almost. The money was going to then campaign manager Brad Parscale's company, which was then in turn passing the money out to Lara Trump and Kim Guilfoyle.
I do want to take a couple steps back here. And aside from being the daughter-in-law of the former president, who exactly is Lara Trump?
She's married to Eric, and she is a former TV personality. I believe she was a producer with Inside Edition. She also toyed with running for Senate in 2020, I believe it was, did not end up running. But she's been pretty active in the campaign. Most notably, she was hosting a online show on, I believe it was on the president's Facebook page several years ago, where it was like a daily news show, but done specifically just for the campaign. The reason the campaign was paying her previously was that I think her title was senior advisor or something along those lines.
And so if we remember RNC chair history, Ronna McDaniel was actually the chair for a while. Now there's co-chairs, Lara Trump as well as Michael Whatley. So how does her 6-figure salary compare to his?
It's significantly less. So one of the things that's confusing is that it's the second person in charge is the co-chair. There aren't 2 co-chairs. There's a chair and then a co-chair. He makes significantly more than that, but it seems like he might also have more on his plate. He pulls in about $330,000 annually, according to FEC filings. But he's also the RNC's general counsel. So you're not just getting somebody who's heading the group, but you're also getting an attorney there as well.
And what about her counterpart at the DNC, chair of that, Jamie Harrison?
Yeah, so Jamie Harrison's actually a little bit higher up than where she is because he is the head of that. There was no applicable person to compare it to in the DNC because all of their number 2 person is called the vice chair, and they have like 6 of them, and I believe 5 of them were elected officials who have other jobs. There was one other person there whose name didn't pop up. But Jamie Harrison makes $177,000 a year in his job, which these days seems to largely be getting in Twitter fights with Nate Silver.
And you've reported about this before, but remind us how Donald Trump, as well as his family, has turned donor funds in the past into personal income.
So the RNC has forked over at least $3 million to Trump's businesses since 2016. Which is a whopping sum, to be honest, especially when you compare it to the fact that prior to him assuming control of the party in 2016, they had only spent $39,000. So, Trump has businesses all over the place. They weren't going to them until he was in charge of the party. So they paid his businesses $3 million. And then Donald Trump Jr. also has gotten in on the act, again, not directly, but in 2019 and 2020, the RNC bought a total of about $400,000 worth of both of his books. So, he didn't get all 400,000 of that. There are obviously some costs involved with books, but he would have gotten some of it, in addition to getting a boost on the charts. That would have certainly helped him with bestseller lists.
And is there any indication that this is going to continue as the campaign heads into November?
Yes. I mean, she's still in that job, so it seems like Lara Trump is still obviously going to be bringing in a salary, and there is no sign whatsoever that the Trumps plan on stopping billing the RNC and other political entities for this. So I suspect we will continue to see this for as long as Trumps are high up in the party.
Zach Everson, per usual, thanks for your reporting.
Thanks for having me on again.